What's up guys, Andrew Gaming here today with another banger video, another awesome upload. This is Super Mario Can't Stop. This is a hack by Akuro where the idea is you're not allowed to stop. These are all challenges with zero downtime, no pause buffering, no QSLGs allowed. But you might have seen I've already played this hack, technically. That was only like one level. Pretty much this is an update of the hack that adds a couple extra levels, but they're technically unfinished, so you need to start display warp to them. You'll need to start display warp to courses 1, 2, 3, and 14 to get to these levels. This right here is course 2, and it's already over. So yeah, that was course 2. There's nothing to explain. It's very short. This right here is course 1. A lot more to explain about this one. Pretty much, I'm going from easiest to hardest in this video. So course 2 was the easiest one, the shortest one. That one took me about 10 minutes of attempts. The only really notable thing there was one like arch where you need a good quarter frame. Other than that, it wasn't that bad. This one right here, I wouldn't consider it like super hard, but it did take me a long time. It took me longer than the course 14 star, despite this being a lot easier. And it's just because I just kept choking the end. I don't really know why. This one I would also consider my least favorite, and maybe for that reason, but a lot of it is just like you have to do these kinds of like very straight parallel wall kicks for a while, which do get annoying. And this is pretty much just the whole star. It's not my favorite, but it's fine. It's not the worst kinds of thing I've ever done, obviously. Let's see, yeah. Coming up right here, it's well, right here is like the same thing with the parallel wall kicks, but coming up there's a more offset kind of like vertically offset wall kicks, which this is the first time I've done something like this in Kaizo, but I was able to get used to it after a little bit. It's just very awkward control stick maneuvers, you know, very awkward movements and stuff like that, just coming up here. But yeah, I guess a little like history of this hack, pretty much. Like the initial release was like just the one level, but then Akuro one day just uploaded like an update ROM, which it had a pipe to the course 2 level, which you saw earlier, but you could also just start display warp to these levels, which were technically unfinished. Even though they're not really like unfinished, I would say. They're like very much like fully fleshed out levels, but yeah. I just decided to warp to them because they're fun. These are good. And then right there, that's the hardest jump of the star. I choked that a couple times. They're just like so offset to the point where you have to hold direct left and direct right to be able to wall kick on those. It was very awkward. And yep, that's the star. Next up, this is course 14, and this one's pretty infamous for... so this is like technically the hardest one in the game, I would say. Like it's extremely, extremely difficult, the intended route, but there is actually a really big cheese here found by Katsai, who's also done this star. Shout out to Katsai. Nice bonk strat right there. Yeah, there's a very big strat to skip most of the star, and even then, this is still like the second hardest in the game. Well, I wouldn't say it's harder than like the original course 15 Can't Stop, but this one is just still really difficult, and you'll see why in a sec. So it's mostly just this intro right here. This is like a full level. This level has been beaten by Tehran 29. Apparently took him like 25 hours. That's the intended route, so I will link that video in the description. But this is the cheese right here. You just get a lot of speed off the slope, you do a bounce, and then this is the last set of wall kicks right here. It's quite the last set of wall kicks, though. You might be thinking, oh, there's a cheese. It's got to make the star really easy. No, this is like... this part right here is pretty crazy. Most of it is just like ultra-precise wall kicks like this. Luckily, I did get a lot of practice of these kinds of wall kicks from Wandering Wall Kick World, but this is still quite the learning curve in practice. But fortunately, I did actually pretty much fluke the star. I got it in about 20 minutes of attempts, which is way faster than I thought I would get it in. But yeah, I mean, it wasn't that bad to grind because it didn't take that long. But these jumps are pretty crazy. You do have to like manage your height and joystick movements like super well. Because a reminder that you can't QSLG in this hack, so like there's no QSLG cheeses or anything you can do. There's nothing much here. You can't pause buffer, so that doesn't help. Pause buffering would make like a lot of this easier, but yeah, you're not allowed to. Technically, I was playing on a ROM where you could pause buffer, but I was just using it for practice, and I was just making sure not to pause buffer during like the actual attempt. This is like the final descent right here, the hardest part for sure. It's just like being able to like keep your height right here, keep your like make sure you're not too high, not too low. It's pretty crazy. And also you need some pretty good straining. I changed the camera there to go over here. You need some pretty good straining to get to this part right here. I'm doing it again, so I'm gonna cut to the commentary. And yeah, we can do it. Holy shit! Let's go! What a fluke, dude. What the hell? That was so fast. Dude, that was so... Oh my god. That literally took like 20 minutes. Oh my god, that's crazy. That's nuts. Oh wow, that's cool. Okay. Alright, and for the last one, we have Course 3. This one, ooh. Oh boy, okay. This, I'm gonna say, is my 6th hardest star, I believe. I think it's a little easier than Wandering Wall Kick World, but harder than Reds. This one is crazy. I've been grinding this one on and off for like a month or so. I think this is the second clear of the star after Am6, who was the first person to beat this hack. So shouts to Am6 for that one and for motivating me to finish this. Yeah, so you might notice this one has reds, so you have to keep the can't stop going, but now with red coins, so there are like some minor detours, but most of them are pretty much on the same path. That beginning right there with the dive into like a double dive on the slope into a double jump, that is like, you have like a frame or two to do that, and it's really annoying. This beginning is just, it's crazy. I can not get many attempts past this beginning, and you'll see another big choke point later. This star is just so front loaded to the point where I could just never get any attempts going. That's why I say I was grinding this on and off for like a month. Like I would put in like a good 5 hours of attempts, and then I would just like stop for like a week, and then like I was just like, oh, I want to get this, and then yeah, and then do another 5 hours, you know. But luckily I was able to push through finally. And yeah, this part right here, pretty reminiscent of, you know, Everlasting Encore or whatever. It's like these little pipes. Little slope section right there. I like that this one isn't like all wall kicks, you know what I mean? Like there's a lot of like slope gameplay as well. But most of what they have to do to like keep the can't stop experience going is either wall kicks or slopes. This part right here, ooh boy, yeah, this one is a doozy, as they say. Yeah, these arches, like doing these without pause buffering is just so hard. Like I could never get many attempts past it. The reason I like came back like to get the star like the 5th time is because Am6 taught me how to do these quarter frame arches, which are like, yeah, you saw it right there. Pretty much I just didn't do any like down stick movement. I didn't do any like movement to like try to clip out of the arch. I just let Mario try like hopefully get a good quarter frame and then clip out of the arch, which makes it so like you won't die from like going out and then not being able to like go back in for the wall kick if you fail the arch. It's just made it a lot easier. A lot of my attempts died there. That is a very brutal section. Once you get past there, it's like, it's a lot better. Sorry about my phone buzzing. Yeah, right here we're going into the slope, so now it is a very front-loaded star, but this still isn't even halfway. This is definitely the longest one. Actually, I don't know if this is longer than the original Can't Stop, Course 15. But yeah. Right here, do another wall kick section. These thins look intimidating, but they're like not that bad, not very thin at all. I rarely ever died here. And yeah, obviously you can't kill do this to make it any easier, so you just gotta keep the wall kicks going. Right here we got a little bit of a sideways slope section. You do a slope jump into a wall kick right there where you ground pound it to the slope, and then that keeps your angle because of the way these slopes are oriented. So right here, oh, this is the one where, yeah, I lost all my speed, so I had to like do a little back up there with a jump. I knew how to do that, but I've never done that like in an attempt, so it's funny that it was in this successful attempt. Normally you'll just like have enough speed to just like zoom past those slopes. I did actually stop there. I know false advertising, can't stop, but like it's so much easier to stop there. Not just for like a break, but it also just makes the jump easier, so I'm sorry I cheated. You can take away my medal or whatever, my trophies or something, I don't know. But we got a section pretty reminiscent of the original Can't Stop, where you like the dive onto the onto the switches and then roll out and back onto another slope. This part right here, kind of a breather section after you get that part where you stop. I would say we're about halfway there. Once you're here, since it's such a front-loaded star, this is just what constitutes as like a good attempt. Right here, this part's kind of weird. You have to like do some straining to go through the fire. Making sure I have enough reds here. Sure I didn't miss any. There were instances where I like missed the first red because like just grinding the first section with the dive onto the slope that you have to do twice, it was just, I could never get any attempts going. It was pretty miserable, but this was just such a fun star that I didn't really mind. I could like grind this for like a couple hours at a time and just be having fun. Now we're getting into the good stuff, the cubic phobic section. You dive onto that cube, do a wall kick, and then you're gonna slope jump up. And this is all to set up your angle a little better. I guess you could technically do it without this, but like there's no reason to. You just jump down and wall kick between these cubes to get the 5th red. This part right here I would consider like the hardest part. And that, or actually I don't know if I consider the hardest part, but like the hardest part in the later half of the star. And that's just because I'm really bad at these kinds of slope jumps coming up for this red. They're just super tight slope jumps to the point where I was just really not super consistent at them. I did get 2 attempts past this one. I'll put a clip on the screen later to show how I died because it was pretty ridiculous the way I died in my PB. But yeah, my furthest attempt before that got to here. And yeah, just very tight slope jumps. Not my forte necessarily, but you know, it's doable. Right here, I'm just stabilizing before the final push. Go into Mario Cam right there. I thought I had like too sharp of an angle, but it did end up working out just fine, which is good. This part right here, it's just making sure your wall kick angles are good. Make sure you're hitting the right walls. Not too much going on here. I wouldn't call this like a super hard section, but it's definitely nerve-wracking. Everything after the 6th red right there, I would say is not that hard, but definitely nerve-wracking. Like the nerves really shoot sky high once you're at this point. You do need to have some good vertical straining here so you don't like go too high and hit the quicksand or go too low on the other side and not be able to wall kick. Never really had too many issues with that though. This part is invisible because why not? It's pretty ridiculous, but it's just invisible because yeah, of course. Invisible wall kicks. It didn't really make this like any harder. You could very easily tell where the wall is. Especially with like the actual visible walls to like show you some kind of measurement of where it is. Here's where I died. I'll put a clip on screen as to how I died. It was ridiculous. I just grabbed the shell, but I didn't grab the shell, and it just pushed me, I guess, into the wall, which downwarped me into the quicksand. I don't know. I don't know how that death happened. That was ridiculous. But luckily, it didn't take me too long after that death. But it was so dumb. just a truly ridiculous death. And then the shell section right here, which is yeah, like nothing about this shell section is like particularly difficult, but it's all nerves at this point. It's all just keeping your nerves in check because it's chokeable. It's definitely possible to choke here, but like there's nothing crazy hard that you have to deal with. Maybe the 7th red up here, which we'll see in a second. You just gotta like avoid that heave-ho. I use D-pad to set my camera angles so I can just like kind of hold forward and be fine. I was taking it super slow and cautious here because the nerves were pretty high. Right here's the 7th red. I'm just waiting. I'm just trying to make sure I have a straight angle there, just in case. I'd say this is the most, I mean not the most, but you know, it's a very chokeable part right here. Just gotta stay on that very thin section right there. Stuff like this just makes me think, like, how do people do Final Tragedy Star 1? Like, the shell section in Final Tragedy looks so hard to me. I'm not very good at shell platforming, shell physics, whatever. It's just, like, not my cup of tea. And it's just, I have no idea how people do it. Coming up near the end right now. Nothing too hard left, but I'm just trying to keep stable, trying to keep it cool. Wait for that. Usually I bait that fire, but I just decided to go for it. It doesn't really make that much of a difference. Sometimes if you like jump too late, that fire can hit you and it's over. Pretty much last jump coming up. We'll cut to the reaction. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and have a good one. Yes, 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 please, please, please. Oh, yes, dude, let's go, let's go, let's go, yes, 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 dude, finally. Oh my fucking god, dude. Oh, shit, dude, finally. Fucking finally, dude, let's go. Yes, yes, dude, I'm shaking so hard, holy shit. Holy shit. Oh my god, bro. Finally, dude. Holy fuck. Oh my god, wow.